Not all farmers are good farmers. Over 90% of Western farmers still, unfortunately, use massive amounts of chemicals as a way to increase their profit. These not-so-good farmers, they play a large role in food health concerns that plague society. Farmers know it too, because most also have chemical-free gardens for their families. They rarely feed their children the food they grow for others. Almost every farmer I know also raises personal animals for their dinner plates, or they have a neighbor who does it for them. Hi, I'm Maurice. Welcome to part 2 in my 4-part series about connecting healthy food with healthy customers. In part 1, I recommended that consumers choose good farmers and reject bad farmers. And before you get all woke on me about tipping bad farmers, think about this for a second. Who is famous and displays traits of being on the spectrum that I described in part 1 of this series? It's Elon Musk and Bill Gates are the most visible, but there are hundreds of thousands of famous, infamous, and average members of society on farming's other elephant in the room list: attention deficit hyperactivity and neurodivergent personalities. It's combined, it's called ADHD. And there are exceptions, of course, but I'm one, but most people in this group do not register much empathy, if at all. Scientific data indicates that ADHD is a relatively common condition in rural environments. I was diagnosed decades ago in middle age, and well before the medical community really knew much about ADHD's advanced intellectual traits, which weren't even identified yet. In spite of my condition, I've had incredible success in life because I learned early to leverage and mask neurodivergence. I've worked countless high-visibility projects with 3 U.S. presidents and also many Fortune 100 and 500 CEOs. Today's reality is that farmers with ADHD and ASD-related personalities, they're not sick and don't need to be cured like a ham. We do, however, see things that most people don't, and to a depth most can't easily comprehend, if at all. In an early career, I co-managed a country pop superstar. We sold over 55 million albums. She had 10 #1 hits. We also sold over 4 million concert tickets, sometimes in stadiums that held 65,000 people, like the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. My second career as an anti-corporate activist was even more successful than my first. I'm an activist first and a marketer second. People with ADHD don't follow traditional rules. We now know the bad agricultural actors and the issues, and we're no longer satisfied to just expose them. We now have the skills and technology to bump them right out of the game, and we're doing it. Smart farmers I've worked with, the good, honest early birds, already do it and generate substantial income. Since the 50s, there's been a complex cohort of farmers with diverse agricultural styles who recognize serious farming issues. There are so many ways to farm healthy food that even farmers are confused. Today, to make it easy for consumers, these pioneers of permaculture, regenerative, and all the rest are now grouped under one umbrella as alt-ag, alternative agriculture. It's all one group. Most alt-ag farmers have struggled within movements that have not moved appreciably in a natural way for at least 10 years. Frustrated pioneers not only inadvertently suffocated the movement, they often strangled themselves in an autoerotic farm fantasy gone wrong. Alt-ag's mainstream stall on the adoption curve is partially a result of visibility failure, which is a psychological conditioning better known as media fatigue. When someone keeps promising but never delivers, Consumers get tired of hearing about it and unconsciously shut their minds off to the possibility of it ever happening. Anticipation, it must be set up and delivered in a timely manner. It's based on algorithmic behavioral formulas of momentum that include delivery and emotional culmination. Farmers failed to gain mainstream momentum, and the movement stalled in the hearts of consumers who are now frustrated and disappointed. Like fine art, raising visibility requires three components: anticipation, engagement, and a climax. It's mandatory. If all you do is edge, you wear out the benefactor and they eventually lose interest. All successful movements, all of them, they contain elements of activism and political recognition. All, without exception. Without these two elements, movements languish and eventually fail, which is where we've been with alt-ag movements for a very long time, and why it's now full of hustlers and posers. Everyone's here thinking they can get rich. The most recognized alt-ag evangelist farmers complained about no customers and no revenue for decades, but did little to fix the broken model. Whining isn't activism, but these very clever evangelists who you all know and love learned that false empathy is an effective way to get rich off of farmers. Their goals shifted from advancing the movement to advancing their personal visibility and wealth. Regenerative agriculture's recent heightened visibility isn't a result of what good farmers are doing, at least not for the most part. Today's regen popularity is 99% the result of greenwash propaganda by large players like Cargill and Bayer, plus all the other corporations that push megatons of poisons to bad farmers who grow bad food. Let's start the healthy food era by being honest and transparent about people who hurt humanity. It sounds harsh, but let's call pesticide pushers what they really are: bad farmers focused on yields and profit, not health. It's not the consumer's fault, so they shouldn't feel guilty about being truthful and placing blame where it's due. Consumers are just starting to realize that along with the good farmers, they too are farming victims. Corporations invest in mega millions, promising commercial factory farmers that if they adopt regenerative practices, they can grow healthier soil and increase profits just by using less chemical fertilizer. It's greenwashing at a much deeper and sophisticated level than I'm describing here, but society embraces their message because they feel that if it might reduce the amount of chemicals in food, which is a good thing, right? I'm all for that, so I'm kind of going with it. Switching to alternative agriculture would also mean society, it would also wean society off of cheap foods, perpetual pesticide drip. I mean, no one knows yet if regen can scale commercially. At this stage, it's like forcing a single giant square peg into a pegboard of little local round holes. It can be done, but it'll take at least a generation because there's an overgrown garden of political and corporate weeds to hack through. Independent media also report that only about 1/3 of the big corporations that promote regenerative farming are actually doing anything to make it happen. And the ones that seem to be doing something, well, they're not transparent. So no one really knows if any big regen corporations are legitimate. So far, it's all talk. For an even deeper dive, watch part 4 in my series to learn why and how Erewhon uses visibility and credibility to create customer trust and attract investors. I'm Maurice. Thanks for watching. Be well.